The Queen's Gambit is a Netflix mini-series based on the novel by Walter Tevis. Intentionally or not, the film appears to be an inversion of Vladimir Nabokov's novel Delusion Defense. I emphasize it's not plagiarism. The difference between two plots is significant. But they have a lot in common. Both Lucian and Beth Harmon are victims of cold relations between their parents, which leads to a depressed state of child's mind, the deliverance from which seems to be a chess escapism.
Королева. Она половчее, смелая и хитрая. Ходит на сколько угодно клеток.
The inversion of Nabokov's story is not so much in choosing a girl as the main character instead of a boy, but also in the meaning of chess for child's fate. For Lucian, this game was a curse and eventually led to death. For Beth Harmon, it was different. The chess play helped her to overcome her problem. The film begins with the death of Beth's mother in a car accident and the placement of a girl to an orphanage. She meets a janitor named Mr. Scheibel, who teaches her how to play chess. Beth is adopted, and soon she begins to smash victoriously all the opponents in a row at chess tournaments. By the way, it's an example of how you can create a superhero on the screen with no use of inexplicable magic superpowers. Beth meets many good people on her way. Jolene helps her to settle in boarding school. Scheibel teaches her chess, and her foster mother becomes her booking agent. But Beth quickly shows a propensity to addiction. Unlike other children, she gets hooked on tranquilizers, and after growing up, on alcohol and drugs. The reason is simple: a severe neurosis. The girl inherited from her mother a disabling life attitude, in order to stay away from people.
Опасаться нужно других людей. Они говорят тебе, что делать, что чувствовать.
Ты должна быть с другими.
Я не хочу быть с ними.
This is a part of a typical driver described in psychology as be strong.
В один момент ты останешься совсем одна. Так что тебе надо учиться заботиться о себе.
The driver name is deceptive. A person who received this attitude as a child prefers to stay alone, hides his feelings and desires from others. He speaks in a monotone voice and asks for help only in a situation of complete disaster.
Я не буду за тобой гоняться, если ты вечно убегаешь.
Прости, Пол.
Если я уеду, то не вернусь.
Mother of Beth pushes the girl's father away. She expels him, but years later she returns to him for help, gets a refuse, and then directs her car under the truck. Loneliness creates an emotional void. It can make the brain work hard in an unconscious search for a way out of this state, and thus turn a person into genius, like Lucian or Beth Harmon, or her mother, who was a doctor of mathematical science. But in the same time, the alienation from people makes a person unhappy and can lead to the brink of death.
Молодец.
In Nabokov's novel, Lucian becomes a savant, that is a man unsuited to normal life, but a very capable chess player. In the ending, he falls out of the window. But chess doesn't ruin Beth Harmon. On the contrary, the game helps her to heal. The image of Scheibel is quite interesting. He is the first man in Beth's life. Before, she only saw her own father from afar. Beth is drawn to Scheibel exactly because she sensed a father figure in him. In a similar way, Lucian developed a passion for chess in Nabokov's novel. Deprived of his mother's love, little Lucian gets an emotional connection to his aunt, who teaches him how to play chess. Both Beth Harmon and Lucian suppress their emotions harshly, and sublimated them through the chess play. It was the power of repressed feelings that made them so motivated to play and turned them into prodigies. Playing with others is a way of socialization for a child. Through playing, Beth gets close to Scheibel, then to a lot of other people, and finally she socializes internationally. At this point, all her friends and former chess rivals become close to Beth. Even Borgov embraces her. The main idea of the film is that the choice in favor of alienation can be disastrous, while joint efforts make people more successful. This applies to both personal life and sports.
Почему они лучшие игроки в мире? Потому что они играют как команда, особенно во время отложенных партий.
But before that, Beth lives unhappy for a long time. Relationships with men do not work out for her, because she has before her eyes a maternal scenario in which a man is expelled, an offer of his help is rejected. There is no emotional intimacy with a man. This is why Beth repeatedly refuses help that Benny offers. She wants love, but the first failures with men confirm the attitude inherited from mother.
Только сильные женщины могут оставаться одни в мире, где люди соглашаются на что угодно, лишь бы сказать, что у них что-то есть.
Мама родилась в богатстве и вышла за богача.
Тогда как ты очутилась тут?
Все сложно.
A girl drinks and takes drugs to get a temporary relief. A trip back to the boarding school and a return to childhood helps her change. Blocked memories of mother's suicide come to mind. Beth understands what caused her problem and decides to take a different path in her life, not mother's. Beth versus Borgov first battle is preceded by an episode in the hotel elevator. The girl overhears a conversation between Soviet chess player and KGB officers. Borgov, perhaps guessing that Beth can hear, expresses pity and sympathy for her.
Она сирота. Много я пережила. Она такая же, как и мы. Проигрывать — это не вариант для нее. Иначе какой была бы ее жизнь?
This deals her a moral blow, and Harmon loses the first game, because Borgov touched her weak spot. An attentive viewer can also notice the words of the KGB officer.
Она набирает обороты. Значит, придется разбираться с ней здесь или в Париже, прежде чем она станет слишком сильной. Говорят, она выпивает.
This may mean that later in Paris, the Soviet intelligence sent Cleo to Beth to get her drunk. That is why Cleo so persistently called the US champion to the cocktail bar before her second game versus Borgov.
Знаешь, тут чудесный бар. Пожалуй, пойду выпью за твой успех в одиночку. Сладких снов.
Когда ты прилетаешь? Я могу за тобой заехать.
Я возвращаюсь в Лексингтон. Мне нужно побыть одной.
Это противоположность того, что тебе нужно.
Мужчины будут хотеть научить тебя всякому. И не потому, что они умнее. Чаще всего это не так. Просто они так чувствуют себя важнее.
Ты не должна оставаться одна. Ты знаешь, что будет.
Может, именно этого и хочу.
Чего, напиться?
Да. Хорошенько напиться.
I remember Big Joe Turner, what he sounds like when he sings.
Here we see how the imprinting works. A child copies the behavior of parents, and in their absence, of the adults who replaced them. It can be an attitude to people, or to alcohol, or to chess, whatever. And sometimes a child suffers all life long because of this.